Hey everyone, it's Kyle Winn here with Sage Realty, and I'm not sure if you're feeling it, but this year's moving right along. Halloween has already come and gone, and if you're like me, you've had way too much candy over the last few days. So now here we are, beginning of November, which means I now have your market update for the month of October 2021 here in Riverside County. Now, even though the year is winding down, October was extremely busy. I'm sure all year you've heard that buyers have had to write offers way above list price, remove contingencies, wire in huge deposits, let the seller stay in home for a month or two after closing just to get their offer accepted. Well, in the last week of October, we closed escrow with one of our buyers who didn't have to do any of that. And we got the house below list price, and the seller even provided a credit to our buyer. Now stick around to the end of the video and I'll tell you exactly how we did this, but first, let's see how the market behaved in October 2021. For new listings, we saw about 3,500 hit the market in October, which was down slightly from September at over 3,900. Now the new listings have been trending down since June of this year, which is common for this time of year actually. But overall, the number of new listings each month this year has tended to be lower than what we would expect to see each month, and this definitely does not help satisfy the current buyer demand that we're seeing. For the number of closed sales in October, we saw about 3,250, which was down just very slightly from September at about 3,350. And as a matter of fact, this has been holding pretty steady over the last 3 months or so, and it's actually higher than what we would expect to see for this time of year. And now you may notice that the number of closed listings nearly matches the number of new listings, which tells us that homes are selling just about as quickly as they're listed. And again, it's pretty obvious that there is still a huge buyer demand, which is great news for anyone considering selling their home at this time. Now let's talk about the median number of days on market for just a little bit. In October, this value was at 12 days. And if you saw my last market update for September, the median number of days on market was at 10 days. So now you might be saying, all right, that's up 20%, so the market must be cooling off, right? Well, to that I say, so what? The median day on market went up 2 days. Who really cares, all right? If you thought homes were selling fast in 2020, the median number of days on market was greater than 12 days for every month of 2020 except for November. So yes, homes are generally still selling very quickly, even when we consider that the median number of days bottomed out at about 8 days over the summer, and now we're at 12 days. Ultimately, the median number of days on market has increased over the last few months, which is normal as we head toward winter, but this may present some opportunities for you buyers out there. And I'll touch on this here in just a minute, but overall, homes are still selling very quickly. Now for month supply, we were at 1.6 months in October, which has actually been constant at 1.6 months since July of this year. Now this statement tells us two things. One, with the month supply at such a low value, we know that there are not many listings available given the current buyer demand. And two, with the month supply being so constant, we know that homes are selling as quickly as they become available on the market. Now let's talk about average sale price, because I know all you homeowners out there are curious about your home's value, right? So for October 2021, the average sale price here in Riverside County was over $607,000. Now I don't want to just leave it at that. I want us to examine some data real quick. But don't worry, I'm not going to drown you in some crazy scientific stuff, just a couple little graphs, all right? Now looking at the data, you see that the average sale price steadily increased early on in the year until it peaked in about May or June. Then we see this dip toward the end of summer like August and September, and now for October we've actually exceeded the peak that we saw early in the year, and it appears that the average sale price may trend back up again. Now is this surprising to you or not? Well, if we look at similar graphs for 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019, we actually see very similar trends where the average sale price increases for the first part of the year, then decreases as summer goes on, and then increases again through the remainder of the year. So it will be interesting to see if this trend repeats itself for November and December of this year as we move forward. All right, now back to our closing at the end of October, where we got our buyer into a home below list price without removing contingencies and without having to let the sellers maintain possession of the home after close of escrow. Now, before getting this offer accepted, we looked at a ton of homes with this buyer and wrote multiple offers, only to get beat out by other offers every single time. All right, and if you're a buyer in this market, you may share that frustration. Well, originally, we were looking at all the nicely remodeled homes, you know, the ones that are all Joanna Gaines, right off HGTV and all that fun stuff. Everybody wants those houses that look like they're right out of a magazine, and those homes are selling in a matter of days, okay, with multiple offers over asking price. Now, our client was getting frustrated, so we changed our strategy a little bit. Instead of going after all the hot new listings that just look beautiful and perfect, we started focusing on the homes that were on the market for at least 3 or 4 weeks. Now, at that point, obviously the massive pool of buyers we have out there in the market right now have already passed on these homes. So we knew there would be a better opportunity for our client getting an offer accepted on those homes. And keep in mind, the reason many homeowners are selling right now is that they expect that they will sell their home at a price that they maybe never even imagined, and that it will sell in only a week or so. And with that expectation in mind, these sellers can get worried if their home is listed for more than a month. So we leveraged that with our buyer. We got an offer accepted below asking price with all the contingencies in place, with a reasonable deposit, and we did not have to give possession to the sellers after closing. And you may be thinking this house must have been complete junk, right? But actually, it was a really clean home. I believe it was actually remodeled 5 or 6 years ago, and I mean the entire kitchen, the bathrooms, the flooring, and it was maintained really well. So if you're a buyer struggling in this market, you may want to consider taking this approach as well, so you can achieve your goal of home ownership. And on the other hand, for you sellers out there, make sure your home is priced appropriately and that your realtor has the marketing dialed in so that you can take advantage of this seller's market and get your home sold quickly and for top dollar. Well, that's all I have today. So if you found this video useful, helpful, informative, or anything like that, please let me know by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. And I'd also love to hear from you if you want to add a comment below. And I will see you with a new video next week.